Okay, now that that zaniness is over and I'm, actually sitting down and not in my work clothes and about to pass out, I wanted to get on to today's subject. And unlike other videos where I've had no idea what I'm going to talk about, I suddenly realized on my drive home what I wanted to talk about today. And it kind of involves what's been going on in EBC recently, mostly involving me and my turmoil over my poor character, Nidria. And thing that I'm going to talk about today is literary tropes. For those of you that don't know, a trope is the use of figurative language via word, phrase, or even an image for artistic effect, such as using a figure of speech. The word trope has also come to be used for describing commonly recurring literary and rhetorical devices, motifs, or cliches in creative works. Obviously, I'm talking more about the latter than I am about the former, but the whole entire reason why I want to talk about it is because most of the time when you hear about TV shows or movies or whatever, you've got something that is well known that everybody loves or hates, depending on which way you look at it, especially with cliches and motifs. A good example of this is, for instance, with Soren and Nidria. Everybody loves a story about star-crossed lovers. For some reason, no matter what happens, if you write a story involving these two people who have very different lives and can't get them to sync up for some reason, and they love each other and want to be together anyway, and it all falls apart, it's star-crossed lovers. And everybody loves it, even though it's really a tragic kind of relationship. Star-crossed lovers is a really good example. Another one is like when you have the two friends that are living in an apartment together. You've got the really fat best friend and the really skinny one that's like, one of them's completely and totally all up about themselves, and the other one completely and totally just prefers food and stuff. That's a really good one. I was laughing because as I was looking up tropes to explain, I came across one that was Muggle best friend. I had to admit that one made me laugh, but when I actually thought about that one especially, Muggle best friend probably actually means in the sense that you have it to where you have two people and one of them is a really big super nerd and the other one isn't, so you've got your friend who's a Muggle. In that sense, they don't know anything about the nerd world, they don't know about video games, they don't know about Harry Potter, they don't know about fantasy genres, they don't understand wizards, witches, chess, blah blah blah, you name it, video games especially, or really just pop culture in general. They're not exactly fully immersed in it as some people are. I just kind of found it interesting that even with a group made up of people who are not fully, I don't want to say we're fully writers. We are writers in our own sense when it comes to Empires Before Clans, but at the same time, we don't do it for a living as in a profession. We don't write stories for people to read and pick up, and we don't profit from it at all. We do this all because we love it. But it's so interesting to see a group from people that range from the ages 13 all the way up until 20-something. I don't think there's anybody above 20-something in EBC. That'd be weird, having a 30-year-old. Weird random thought. I'm also half awake. I'm babbling. Anyway, it's interesting to see that even with the diverse age group, we still have those kind of tropes. We have tropes within the group. We have the stories of star-crossed lovers, the stories of the couple that just can't seem to make a break. Poor Thalia and Laertes. And then, of course, there's the felines that don't really want to admit that they like each other and things like that. It's just diving into that kind of work and realizing just how complex the world is. And not just in EBC, it's with any group that I've roleplayed with or had characters with in general, or have created characters for, or anything of that matter. It's really interesting to see just how much we develop and how much we gain from our own personal experiences by role-playing and such. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk about that. It's really hard to cram a lot of information like that into one video, but I just really felt like it needed to be mentioned because of the fact that right now I'm dealing... I'm confused. That was weird. Sorry. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I lost my train of thought. Dang. I'm getting close to 7 minutes anyway. Anyway, I just found it interesting and felt like it needed to be talked about. recently with the events of Sword and Anidria especially, I've kind of been thinking about it. Anyway, that's what I had to talk about. Zilch happened this week besides lack of sleep. I need to sleep. And your word for the next week is sleep. Because I really need sleep. Anyway, I shall see you on Monday.